Walk across a modern private college campus today, and everything looks exactly as it should. The lawns are manicured, the brickwork is flawless, and the classrooms are full. But behind these heavy closed doors, the people who actually keep these institutions running have started to disappear. Some of the sharpest educators in the country are quietly packing up their offices. There are no loud protests or dramatic walkouts. They are simply submitting their resignations and walking away from higher education. It is a trend being called the silent exit. The strange thing is, these professors have not lost interest in their subjects. Ask any of them, and they will tell you they still value their research and the feeling of connecting with a room full of students. To understand the weight of this choice, you have to look at what it takes to become a university professor. We are talking about a timeline spanning well over a decade. 4 years of undergraduate study, followed by rigorous PhD programs, low-paying postdoc positions, and the hyper-competitive grind of the tenure track. People who endure that decade of friction are intensely committed to the university. When these same individuals decide that a standard 9-to-5 corporate job is more sustainable than the career they spent their entire adult lives building, it suggests the actual reality of the job has drifted far from the academic ideal. The daily life of a modern academic rarely matches the image of deep thought and quiet study. Instead, the workspace is often buried beneath corporate compliance forms, admissions checklists, and the glossy marketing brochures used to recruit the next freshman class. This is the result of administrative bloat. Over the last 2 decades, universities have increasingly adopted metric-driven models, where the primary goal has shifted toward institutional growth. As a result, the burden of executing that growth has fallen heavily on the faculty. First comes the paperwork. Professors are now required to navigate a constant stream of compliance documentation and internal committee reporting demanded by a swelling administrative layer. Then comes the pressure of the numbers. Faculty members are increasingly expected to help hit student admission quotas and maintain strict retention targets, taking on the role of account managers for their departments. Finally, there is the demand for self-promotion. Professors are often asked to function as brand ambassadors, attending recruitment fairs and generating promotional content to help sell the university's image to prospective applicants. Without a formal change in their job titles, these educators have seen their roles transform into a hybrid of middle management and corporate sales. All of these new responsibilities collide with a basic math problem. There are only so many hours in a working week, and we have to look at how those hours are actually distributed. This pie chart represents the baseline expectation for an academic schedule. In theory, a 40-hour workweek is split between 2 main objectives: preparing for and leading classes, and conducting original research. But the institutional demands have to be met first to satisfy the university's reporting requirements. As the time needed for compliance, marketing, and admissions expands, it aggressively squeezes the teaching and research segments into razor-thin margins. The direct consequence is that the primary reasons these educators were hired, mentoring students and advancing their fields, become secondary. They are often forced into the tiny, fragmented windows of time left over after the administrative work is finally done. To compensate, many professors end up working extreme overtime. They spend their weekends grading and their nights trying to catch up on research, working double shifts just to fulfill the academic duties that were once their main focus. When these veteran professors finally hit a breaking point, it's not because they've grown tired of the classroom. The exhaustion comes from hundreds of hours spent on corporate tasks that share no DNA with the academic mission they spent a decade preparing for. Looking at the university as an institution, everything appears stable. The classical architecture looks pristine, the endowments continue to grow, and the campus tours keep running exactly on schedule. But that stability is often skin deep. While the marketing materials remain polished, the departure of veteran faculty means the intellectual center of the institution is being hollowed out, one resignation at a time. The ultimate cost of this exit falls on the students. They enroll in these colleges and pay premium tuition, expecting a level of engagement that the current model is making nearly impossible to provide. When great educators leave, students lose the one-on-one mentorship that helps them navigate a career or refine a complex thesis. They lose the specific intellectual friction that only happens when a professor has the time to actually challenge a student's thinking beyond a standard lecture. A university is not its physical infrastructure or its internal corporate metrics. Its value relies entirely on the quality of the interactions happening inside its classrooms. As institutions continue to prioritize administrative growth over the people who actually do the teaching, we have to ask what is left behind. If the experts continue to walk away, what exactly are the students paying for?